1977, the cricket world was in turmoil. The cricket establishment had been rocked by the formation of a breakaway competition known as World Series Cricket. In May 1976, Kerry, owner of the Channel 9 television network, had offered the Board of Control $2.5 million for exclusive rights to cover cricket in Australia for a period of 5 years. He was told the board had already signed a 3-year deal with the Australian Broadcasting Corporation for $207,000.
One should never lose sight of the reasons for World Series cricket. They were very, very simple. Kerry Packer watched the ratings on television go through the roof. And he knew that, because he was in the business, he knew that he needed cricket on his television station.
With the aid of 2 trusted lieutenants, John Cornell, who was better known to audiences in the guise of his television alter ego Strop, Paul Hogan's faithful sidekick, and former champion Australian rules footballer Austin Robertson, Packer signed in secret the world's top cricketers from Australia, England, West Indies, Pakistan and South Africa to play as full-time professionals for World Series cricket.
Every single player approached wanted to join and did join.
This is the biggest indication of how pissed off the players were around the world about what we perceived as unfair treatment by the administrators. The fact that you had more than 50 players from all around the world who had this secret and they kept it.
No one around the world was happy with financial arrangements, but then they kept being fobbed off with the fact, of course, there's no money in the game.
We needed looking after better. I would negotiate, pay for the players, and they will say, right, we can give you 3.5%. I said, well, no, give us 3% or something like that. And, it's trying to save money for the West Indies. But the point is that we didn't know our worth. Now, the guys know exactly what to ask for.
I think I got $18 for playing the Shell Shield as an amateur. So, there wasn't a lot of money in cricket for us in the West Indies. And then for somebody to offer you $20,000 US for 3 months' work.
When I go back to the bank, I push my red book in again. I say to the cashier, can you update this book for me again, please? Bang, bang, clash. Push right the book. And the first time in my entire life, there's a comma in my savings account book. My account is now into the thousands. I've never ever had that sort of money in my account. And I said, oh, this is for real.
There was this unspoken understanding amongst the players that if World Series cricket was to succeed, it would succeed on the field, and the cricket had to be good. And the feeling amongst the players was that we were representing our country just as much as we ever were.
Denied access to traditional cricket grounds, World Series matches were played at alternative venues, such as VFL Park in Melbourne, Football Park in Adelaide, the Sydney Showgrounds, and Gloucester Park in Perth. This resulted in some great innovations in terms of pitch preparation. Portable drop-in pitches were specially prepared in hothouses, and then when required, were put into position with the help of giant cranes. Another worthwhile innovation was the wearing of protective headgear.
And he's got him on the helmet, I think. Could be the first strike, and Lilly, the man to do it.
England opener Dennis Amos was the first player to regularly wear the cumbersome helmet that occasionally caused a few hearing problems.
Confusion again, chance for a run at the bowlers, Andy will be out, and another one out, and the World 11 committing cricket suicide here with bad calling there. Greg didn't respond to not to call.
It was a sickening injury to 22-year-old David Hooks, his jaw broken after he was struck on the side of the face by a delivery from Andy Roberts that would see the wearing of helmets become a necessity.
Just on the side of the jaw, and he's in trouble.
I was there the day David Hooks had his jaw broken, and I was sort of at side on, and I could hear the noise of the jaw, and that was a pretty amazing experience at the time. And seeing someone get hurt seriously, had a big effect on me at the time. I thought, well, yeah, this game is pretty serious.
Just on the side of the jaw, the right-hand side. And he's retired hurt for the moment on 81.
And although we were macho, and although we didn't believe we were ever going to get hit in the head, helmets, Kerry decided, must come in.
When Hooks eventually returned to the middle and faced up to Andy Roberts, his response was typical of the man.
It's an air chance, could be 6 or out at 6, he's hit it well.
Not perfectly balanced. Back live now.
6 again, he's hit that one, that's a better shot. That was a glorious shot, that one. That was hooked forward of the spur gun for the ball before he was caught out of position, but that one was a great shot from the young man making a comeback.
There was another innovation during the first season of World Series cricket that would have a profound effect on the future of the game. The playing of cricket at night, under lights, using a white ball and black sight screens. From a television point of view, playing matches in prime time would prove to be a winner in terms of commercial advertising and ratings. But sometimes even great innovations were subject to council approval.
The local council were very, very keen that the lights went out at exactly, I can't remember what the time, it might have been 10:30. They sent an observer to see to it that this happened. I happened to be watching the match with Kerry.
And he's gone, must be gone. You can hear the snick from here, even through the commentary box window. And Vivian Richards has gone.
I'll never forget, it was clear we weren't going to make it. And Andrew Carrow, who's the chief executive at the time, came upstairs and said to Kerry, we're not going to make it. We're going to have to switch the lights off. And Kerry sort of said, look, Andrew, fix it. Just fix it.
And it's down to long on, he's gone, he's taken. Fine catch by Maxie Walker. Julian is out, a decisive wicket.
We were watching this clock, and of course the gentleman from the council was sitting over in the corner. I think he was quite happy sipping away at a beer. Carrow came up again, said, Kerry, we're going to have to switch the lights off. This is just not going to, we're going to have to... Kerry said, fix it, Andrew. And as he was disappearing, he called him back and he said, stop the clock. And I'm sitting there thinking, stop the clock? And of course the big clock on the other side was the clock that we were looking at. And Andrew paused and looked at the clock at the clock, and Kerry said to him, no, slow it down. Well, they eventually did slow the clock down. They had to slow it down by about 5 minutes over a period of half an hour in order to get the match to finish. Now that for me was an example of some incredible lateral thinking. Who would have thought that? That was Kerry at his best.
Thanks to some very lateral thinking from Kerry Packer, television viewers right around Australia got to witness one of the great finishes to a cricket match of all time.
2 balls remaining, 5 needed. Wayne Daniel has strike.
With me in batting, I said to myself, nah. No, 6 off the last over. I've never seen Wayne hit a 6, not even playing what kind of cricket. And then I said, I remember walking on the wicket and saying to him, hey, what's going to happen? He said, don't worry, man. I said, don't worry.
I go over to Mick and he says, you got any ideas? And I said, well, run in and bang it in short, and because I don't think he'll be much of a hooker. And he just looked at me and said, oh mate, he said, I can't bounce one that high on this pitch. He said, it's a pretty slow pitch, I can't get it up that high. I said, okay. I said, all right, well then jam it full down the leg side. He can't do much with that.
The West Indies take their chance and pick up a single for Wayne Daniel, and then take their chance that Joel Garner can hit a boundary off the last ball. They've had their conference. They will have decided that, or that Wayne Daniel goes for the doctor with this second last delivery. Malone. He's hit it many a mile. He's 6 for 6. It's over.
A magnificent hit from Wayne Daniel. Mick Malone pitching down the wet side, and look at the jubilation in the West Indian room, and rightly so. Poor bowling, but a great shot out of the ground at VFL Park for 6 runs, and what a finish to a magnificent